I want you to just check your calendar for a second. Today is Thursday, July 9th, 2026.
Right.
Now, I want you to look exactly 8 days into the future. That's next Friday, July 17th.
A highly anticipated date, supposedly.
Exactly. I mean, if you were looking at a Hollywood release schedule just a few months ago, that date was circled in thick red ink. It was supposed to be the launch of this massive, heavily anticipated summer comedy from Warner Bros.
Yeah, a massive tentpole.
You'd expect to be seeing billboards on your commute right now. You'd expect trailer ads popping up before literally every YouTube video you click on. You'd expect the cast doing all those hilarious bits on late-night talk shows to, sell you tickets. Instead, nothing. The movie has completely vanished from the calendar, and nobody at the studio is making a sound.
Which is incredibly rare for a major studio tentpole. I mean, the movie is fully shot, it's in the can.
Totally.
But it's essentially a ghost ship floating in the harbor with no crew to be found.
So today, for this deep dive, we are exploring the very bizarre limbo of Jonah Hill's unreleased third directorial feature, a movie called Cut Off.
Yeah, such a strange situation.
It really is. We've pulled together a fascinating stack of industry reporting to figure this out, including dispatches from Puck News, The Hollywood Reporter, The Wrap, and even some leaked reactions from early test screenings.
The test screenings are brutal, by the way.
Oh, we'll get to those. So our mission today is to figure out how a supposed sure-thing Hollywood comedy simply disappears into thin air. And, what this vanishing act tells you about the hidden machinery of the entertainment industry.
It says a lot, unfortunately.
Okay, let's unpack this, because this isn't just about a delayed release date. It's about a finished piece of art that a major corporation has suddenly decided, well, you aren't allowed to see.
To really grasp the magnitude of this disappearance, we first have to look at why this movie was greenlit in the first place.
Right.
Because on paper, by every traditional metric Hollywood uses to, measure risk, this project is a guaranteed hit.
Walk me through the recipe here. I know Jonah Hill directed it, he produced it and co-wrote it, but what was the actual pitch that got the studio to cut a massive check?
The premise is just classic comedy gold. It follows two wealthy mid-40s siblings who are suddenly completely cut off from the financial support of their ridiculously rich parents.
Oh, I love that.
Right. So for the first time in their lives, they are forced to actually navigate the real adult world, get jobs, survive without a safety net. Jonah Hill himself described the tone as a hybrid of Step Brothers, Clueless, and Trading Places.
Wow, that is a phenomenal elevator pitch. I mean, you have the man-child coexistence from Step Brothers.
Yes, exactly.
The sheltered reality check from Clueless, and obviously the sudden loss of status from Trading Places.
It's bulletproof. But a pitch is only as good as the people executing it, right?
Sure.
And the cast that they assembled for this is just staggering. You have Jonah Hill and Kristen Wiig playing the cut-off siblings.
That's a great pairing.
It is. And interestingly, Kristen Wiig actually replaced Jennifer Lawrence in the role.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence was attached.
She was, which tells you the caliber of talent they were attracting. Just swapping one massive A-lister for another.
That's wild.
Yeah. And then, playing the parents who pull the financial plug, you have Bette Midler and Nathan Lane.
Are you kidding? Bette Midler and Nathan Lane together?
Oh.
Just the visual of those two playing wealthy, disappointed parents to Jonah Hill and Kristen Wiig it's a generational comedy event. I mean,
yeah.
I would buy a ticket to that opening weekend without even watching a trailer.
What's fascinating here is that the bench goes even deeper.
Who else is in it?
The supporting cast includes Camila Cabello, Chelsea Peretti from Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Oh, she's hilarious.
Langston Kerman from Abbott Elementary, and Adriana Barraza, who is an Oscar-nominated actress for the movie Babel.
Wow, that is a stacked cast.
Plus, Jonah Hill is not an unproven novice,
Right.
playing with the studio's money. He's been Oscar-nominated twice as an actor for Moneyball and The Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
And his directorial debut, mid-90s, was widely praised by critics.
Which is why I have to push back on some of the dark rumors circulating about this film.
Yep.
I mean, how can a movie with this much generational comedic talent and actual Oscar pedigree possibly be a failure?
It's the big question.
It's like you're assembling an all-star sports team, paying them top dollar, giving them the best equipment, and then the coach just locks the locker room door and refuses to let them play the game.
That paradox is exactly what has the entire industry whispering right now. Because you're right, this isn't some cheap experimental indie film that just got weird in the edit.
No, not at all.
It is an embarrassment of riches. It is a formula that logically should work every single time.
So if the premise is bulletproof and the cast is a home run, how do we arrive at a completely empty release date?
Well,
I mean, I was looking at the timeline of this production, and it looks like they finished shooting almost a year ago. Is it normal for a summer comedy to sit in the editing bay for that long?
according to initial reports, principal photography wrapped in September 2025. So yes, sitting here in July 2026, we are looking at 10 full months of post-production.
It's a long time for a comedy.
It is. But the real alarm bells started ringing earlier this year when the movie completely skipped CinemaCon.
Ah, CinemaCon. For those listening who might not follow the inner workings of theater distribution, skipping CinemaCon is basically a death sentence for a summer movie, isn't it?
It's the equivalent of a major tech company skipping CES. CinemaCon is the massive annual convention where Hollywood studios show off their upcoming seats to movie theater owners.
Right, they bring out all the stars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you have a massive summer blockbuster releasing in July, you are at CinemaCon in the spring. You are flying Bette Midler and Kristen Wiig out to Vegas to parade them across that stage to hype up the theater chains.
So when Warner Bros. Showed up without cutoff,
It was a massive flashing red flag.
and that red flag turned into a full-blown fire on May 1st, 2026. Warner Bros. Quietly pulled cutoff from their slate entirely.
Just wiped it clean.
They didn't just delay it to November, they scrubbed it. And immediately after, reporter Matt Belloni at Puck News dropped an absolute bombshell.
Such a huge scoop.
Yeah, he reported that the studio had deemed the film unreleasable. And furthermore, a leak from a test screening attendee described the movie as straight-up unwatchable.
Those are heavy, devastating words in this business. Unreleasable it's the U word.
I need a reality check from you on this label, because I have paid good money to see movies in theaters that felt like they were actively insulting my intelligence.
We all have, trust me.
If those movies can make it to the local multiplex, what does it financially mean for a finished movie to cross the line to unreleasable?
It comes down to a Hollywood mechanism known as P&A, which stands for prints and advertising.
Okay.
Making the physical movie is only half the financial battle. To release a major summer comedy globally, a studio has to spend anywhere from $40 to $60 million on marketing.
40 to 60 million.
Yeah.
Just to market a comedy.
Easily. That's global press tours, Super Bowl spots, YouTube pre-roll, billboards. It adds up fast.
So the studio executives are looking at the math.
They are looking at the math through the lens of the sunk cost fallacy. Imagine you're playing poker.
Okay.
You've already put $30 million into the pot to produce the movie, but the test scores are coming back abysmal.
And comedy test scores are uniquely brutal, from what I hear.
They really are. If an action movie tests poorly, executives can trick themselves into thinking they can fix it with better visual effects or a louder sound mix.
Just add more explosions.
Exactly. But comedy is binary. The audience either laughs or the theater is dead silent.
Oof, that's rough.
If a test audience is dead silent during a scene with Nathan Lane and Bette Midler, the executives know they have a losing hand. So, do they call the bet and throw another $40 million of marketing money into the pot just to see what happens?
Probably not.
Or do they fold, except that they lost the production budget and mitigate the disaster? Unreleasable simply means they chose to fold.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because when a word that aggressive gets leaked to the press, the people involved naturally scramble to control the damage.
Of course. It's panic mode.
And looking at the sources, we have entirely competing narratives playing out in public. Now, just to be totally impartial here and report what's out there, Warner Bros. Put out a statement to the Wrap explicitly saying that the Puck News speculation about it being unreleasable is inaccurate.
Right, the classic carpet denial.
On the flip side, Jonah Hill's representatives are claiming that the film is simply not finished and just needs more time in the editing room.
Buying time.
Exactly. And to muddy the waters even further, the Hollywood Reporter cited a source claiming that production actually wrapped in January 2026, not September 2025, suggesting they haven't actually had a full 10 months to edit it.
It's a classic public relations scramble.
Yeah.
The studio has to deny it because acknowledging a disaster hurts their stock price, and the director's team has to lean on the "we're just taking our time to get it right" defense to protect his reputation.
But there is a crucial piece of context here regarding Jonah Hill's reputation that we have to factor in. Because earlier this year, in 2026, Hill directed a movie called Outcome.
Oh, right.
It dropped on Apple TV.
Yeah.
It starred Keanu Reeves, Cameron Diaz, and Matt Bomer.
And it was critically panned. It received absolutely miserable reviews.
It really did. And that is, I mean, That's got to be a huge factor, right?
That is the domino that likely started this whole chain reaction. In Hollywood, a director's political capital fluctuates like the stock market.
Sure.
When your last project gets destroyed by critics, studio confidence in your next project evaporates overnight.
Explain that psychological mechanism for me, though. Why wouldn't a studio view cutoff is an entirely separate, unrelated gamble? It's a totally different movie.
Because executives are inherently risk-averse and they rely on momentum to justify their decisions. If Jonah Hill had just come off a massive, critically acclaimed hit, the studio executives might give him the benefit of the doubt on a weird test screening.
They're just write it off as an anomaly.
Exactly. They'll sit in the boardroom and say, well, the test audience didn't quite get the joke, but Jonah knows what he's doing. Let him finish his vision.
Right.
But when you are coming off a critical disaster, that benefit of the doubt vanishes.
It's totally gone.
Suddenly, a bad test screening isn't just a bump in the road. It's a confirmation of their worst fears. They panic, they start second-guessing the edit, and they start wondering if the comedic tone they thought was brilliant in the script phase is completely broken on screen.
But a director's cold streak and some bad test scores are only part of the puzzle here. Because there is a much larger corporate earthquake happening underneath this specific movie.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to look at the massive ongoing merger between Warner Bros. And Paramount.
Right, this is where the real boardroom machinations happen.
In a corporate conglomerate, a movie is essentially an orphaned child until a high-level executive adopts it. They call this person the internal champion.
The internal champion, okay.
This is the studio chief who stakes their own personal reputation on a film. They are the one banging their fist on the table saying, I believe in this movie, I'm going to make sure it gets marketed right, and I will take the heat if it fails.
So who is that for cutoff?
Well, currently, the film chiefs at Warner Bros. Are Pam Abdy and Michael DeLuca. But with the Paramount merger ongoing, the entire executive structure is in flux.
Oh, so everyone's job is on the line.
Exactly. Nobody knows who is going to be sitting in those chairs when the dust finally settles.
And I want to pause here, because this is exactly why you, the listener, should care about the fate of cutoff. It's so easy to believe that the culture you consume, the movies, the art, the entertainment available to you, operates on a pure meritocracy.
We all want to believe that.
We really do. We like to think that if art is good, it gets released, and if it's bad, it doesn't. But the reality is that the movies you get to see are often dictated by corporate boardroom musical chairs.
Think of it like a new management team taking over a company and inheriting a building with a severely leaky roof.
That's a good analogy.
The new film chiefs coming into this merged entity did not greenlight cutoff. They did not hire Jonah Hill.
Right, it's not their baby.
So if they spend $40 million marketing this film and it bombs at the box office, that failure is now permanently attached to their new track record.
And they can't afford that right after a merger.
No way. It is significantly safer for their own careers to just wash their hands of it, point to the previous regime, and say, not my problem. As the reporting clearly notes, this is a movie no one wants to take responsibility for.
So if the executives are paralyzed by this merger, and nobody wants to take responsibility for the marketing budget, what actually happens to the physical movie? Looking at the industry playbook, there are really 3 doors of limbo this movie can walk through next.
Door number 1 is the most traditional route. We call it the quiet dump.
The quiet dump. I love that industry term. This is where Warner Bros. Eventually finishes the post-production, picks a random dead weekend in late 2026 or early 2027.
Like a freezing weekend in late January. Yeah.
Exactly. And just dumps it into a handful of theaters.
They do the contractual bare minimum, minimal marketing, no press tour, no late night talk show appearances.
Just slipping it under the radar.
They simply fulfill their legal obligations to the actors' contracts to release it, let it die a quiet death at the box office, and it just becomes a forgotten footnote on everyone's Wikipedia page.
It avoids lawsuits.
Yeah.
But it ensures the film vanishes from the cultural conversation instantly.
Yep.
But door number 2 seems like it might actually be more appealing to the studio's accountants right now. Let's call it the streamer bailout.
Oh, absolutely. Warner Bros. Could take the finished film and shop it around to Apple, Amazon, or Netflix.
And they have plenty of cash.
Right, and those platforms operate on entirely different economics. They don't need a massive opening weekend at the box office. They just need splashy, star-studded inventory for their homepage to keep subscribers from canceling.
I mean, any of those streamers would likely jump at a comedy with Kristen Wiig, Bette Midler, and Nathan Lane.
Oh, in a heartbeat. Warner Bros. Gets a lump sum check to recoup their production cost without taking on the massive financial risk of a theatrical release, and the streamer gets a shiny new asset.
Plus, as we mentioned earlier, Jonah Hill already has a working relationship with Apple.
Exactly. It's a very clean exit.
It really seems like the most logical off-ramp for everyone to save face. But then
Here's door number 3.
there's door number 3,
Eva?
the vault. The option no one in Hollywood wants to say out loud anymore, even though we are seeing it happen more and more frequently.
This is the brutal tax strategy route. The new leadership from the merger comes in, looks at the abysmal test scores, looks at the marketing costs, and decides to just shelve the movie permanently.
Just lock it away.
They lock the hard drives in a vault, claim the production cost as a total tax write-off, and legally the public can never, ever see it.
It is a terrifying precedent for artists. The idea that a film can die not just in early development, but in distribution limbo after it has already been completely shot, acted, and edited.
It's heartbreaking.
So what does this all mean? We are looking at a truly tragic irony. You have a fully made film. You have a brilliant, highly relatable premise about wealthy people losing their safety nets.
Yeah.
You have literally one of the most talented comedic casts assembled in the last decade. And it is all just sitting on a server somewhere in Burbank, suffocating under the weight of the word unreleasable, waiting for a corporate executive to assign it a fate.
This raises an important question about the broader ecosystem of Hollywood. What does this mean for the future of mid-budget comedies?
That's a great point.
For years, the industry has complained that they don't make comedies anymore. Well, if a major studio won't take a risk on a sure-thing premise with Kristen Wiig and Nathan Lane, who are they going to take a risk on?
Nobody.
Right. The corporate machinery is getting so risk-averse that perfectly good or, even interestingly flawed films might just start disappearing before the audience ever gets a chance to judge the art for themselves.
And that leads me to a final, slightly provocative thought I want to leave you with. We've spent this entire deep dive talking about how disastrous this leaked information is for the movie.
Yeah, it looks bad.
But what if this exact controversy, the leaks, the rumors, the unreleasable label, is actually the greatest marketing tool this film could ever possibly ask for?
Oh, you're talking about the Streisand effect.
Exactly.
The harder you try to hide something, the more desperately people want to see it.
Think about the pure morbid curiosity.
Right.
If Warner Bros. Shelves it entirely and a work print eventually leaks online,
People are going to flock to it.
oh, they will break the internet trying to find it.
Yeah.
The sheer infamy of seeing an allegedly unwatchable film starring Bette Midler and Jonah Hill might turn it into a massive midnight movie cult classic.
That's so true.
Right. It might end up finding a far larger, far more passionate audience through its controversy than it ever would have found as a standard run-of-the-mill July theatrical release.
By trying to bury it to save their stock price, the studio might accidentally make the movie immortal. It's a fascinating waiting game.
So I want to hear from you. After everything we've unpacked today about the reality of test scores, the psychology of a director's cold streak, and the boardroom musical chairs of corporate mergers, what do you think is the ultimate fate of Cutoff?
It's anyone's guess at this point.
Does someone find the courage to give it a theatrical run? Does it get quietly bailed out by a streaming service? Or does it disappear into a tax write-off vault forever? Drop a comment and let us know your prediction. Check your calendars, folks. July 17th is coming.
But Cutoff isn't.
But Cutoff isn't, and now you know exactly why.